Let's try this again. Hey everybody, if you are watching replay, welcome. I know this is not my normal upload night, but we are doing something fun for the month of August. I am basically going to be doing 2 live reading nights a week. So this is kind of like the second one for this week. I know it's technically not August yet, but I'm starting it a week early. So yeah, all of the month of August, you're going to be getting 2 live nights. Now, usually one of those is the main Tuesday nights. And then the other nights are going to just kind of be dependent on my schedule, but I will let you know in those Tuesday night readings, like when I'm going to be on next. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? The final Tuesday of the month is going to be member only live. So if you want to join for those, we have a lot of fun in those. We do psychic games as well. So I give you guys homework and then I make you come to the live nights to not only learn some things, but also like chat and hang out with the rest of us. And then I do have one membership level above that, which is member only videos. And so those are exclusive videos to that channel. So I don't have a ton of time today, and I know I'm on a little bit earlier, so I'm hoping that maybe some of you guys that normally have really weird time zones conflicting with mine, that this might work better for you. But yeah, hey, sorry, I lost my connection. It was really weird. Alrighty, upcoming videos. Let's see, what do I have coming up for you guys? I always forget to check before. I have like my notes of like what to talk about before I start, and I always forget. Because we just did, so the newest video is like everyday psychic games that you can play. So I just put that up. Let me know what you guys think of that video. And I think the next video, I should have looked. It's either going to be some sort of exercise or it might be a meditation. I can't remember. I need to look that up. Alrighty, you guys. So let's get into the theme of today. Now, I'm kind of feeling all over the place with the theme because I feel like everybody's going through different things. And so last night, like loud and clear, I went through an experience that I felt like I was supposed to share with you guys. And so I'm going to do that a little bit. And it just feels like very like channeled information. So basically last night, hey Mama Odie, hey Jades. Last night I had some friends over for a like summer movie barbecue night. And it's like a perfect example of just like trusting the universe. So like I got all ready. My husband and I like cleaned our whole house, both inside and outside. Like we have a really big yard, and so we have to like, you know, get rid of the weeds and mow and just like prepare everything so people can lay out in our grass and watch a movie. And we have to set up our whole movie screen. That like is a huge deal because you got to set up the sound system and then how you're going to play the movie. And so we got all of this set up, our house all cleaned up. It basically took us like all day yesterday and a little bit of time like this week to just set it up. And then it's like everything that could go wrong went wrong. But I think the message here was to roll with the punches and to trust that the universe is going to get you something better. And sometimes when you fight the universe, it ends up making things a bajillion times worse. And so I felt like how I handled this situation was really good. And so I felt called to share this experience. But basically, literally, like we had 5 minutes warning. Everything was clear. I've been checking like the weather, and we weren't supposed to be getting any rain until like way later in the night. And we literally finished the last bit of setup for setting up this movie. Our friends were sitting down, and just literally clouds, just dark gray clouds just roll in so fast. And like we get lightning, and we were like, oh crap, is it gonna rain? And then we checked on our phone, and it was like we had 30 minutes before the rain, but really it was like 10 minutes, if that. And so we were all scrambling to unplug and undo everything that we had done. Now, this can immediately send us into like just anxiety mode of just like, oh my gosh, the whole night is ruined. And I tried really hard not to kind of go into this zone of just being like, okay, we're just going to deal with one thing at a time. So we just packed everything up. It was literally raining on us. It was starting to pour as we were like pulling the last things into our house. So we get inside and we're like, okay, crap, what are we going to do next? And then my dog runs out the front door, sprints out into the pouring rain, into the street, and he's gone. And all of my friends are now wet in the street chasing my dog, which he's a husky, by the way. And if you have huskies, you know that this is a thing. Honestly, he's poorly trained, and I should have taught him better, but he basically took off in the rain. And I had to stay back at our house because I have my son, and I didn't, he was in bed, and I couldn't go taking after him. But again, another thing where the universe was just like, I'm going to screw up all your plans tonight, and how are you going to react? And so I basically just tried to stay calm. I practiced mindfulness. I practiced deep breathing. I connected with my guides, and I was like, what's going on here, universe? Why is everything like going out of the window? And it was kind of like, just trust us, just trust what's going to happen. And even when my dog was gone, I was abnormally calm, and I knew we were going to get him back, and it was a matter of time to wait. And it was like the message that was coming through was like, well, you might as well just get everything set up so you can watch the movie indoors. I know this is a long story, but it has a point. The point is like, trust the universe. And basically just like everything, all the shit hits the fan. It's like friends that were supposed to come, also I forgot to mention, didn't end up coming. And so like that's another thing that can totally like throw off your whole night of like being grumpy that people don't show up. And I just kind of always set the intention that the people that are supposed to be there will be there. Sorry, there's weird noises coming from outside. And then basically we got the dog back. Everything was fine. And it actually made an awkward situation less awkward. It all run through the rain, chasing this dog, and everyone got back and everyone was feeling great. And we were laughing and joking about it. And then we decided, okay, we're just going to do an indoor movie. And it ended up working out. I think it worked better for like what the movie was and just being able to see it and hear it. And we didn't have the original thing that we were expecting, but the great thing about everyone there was they were the right people that were supposed to be there that night. And we had a very intimate, fun evening with a small group of people. And, maybe that's what was supposed to happen. Maybe I wasn't supposed to have this big, awesome party because maybe I wasn't going to be able to connect with people. Obviously the rain was like going to come up, and it's like all these things basically happen for a reason. And I hope I'm like describing this as well as like I'm going as I was going through it. But the point here is that I could have fought everything. I could have gotten pissed that, certain friends didn't show up, and then I could have been all grumpy throughout the night. And I've had people do this like at parties that I've gone to before. It's kind of like, you're no fun to be around. And I could have gotten mad about the rain and, not even thought about doing a movie inside. We could have just been like, well, sorry guys, just go home. Everything's ruined. But we adjusted and we didn't try to fit our vision of what the night was supposed to be into the original vision. And then even with the dog getting out, it's like we all managed our anxiety. We breathed afterwards. We let it, kind of had a sigh of relief. We all were toweling ourselves off, and it was just like, it was a bonding experience. And we ended up all laughing about it at the end of the night and stuff. And it just became something completely different than what I imagined. And because of that, it was better. And so I think my point here is like, I went through this, and this is kind of how we treat the universe sometimes. Sometimes we want things to be exactly perfect, and we want the night to go exactly how we planned. And then when things like when the universe just starts being like, no, it's not supposed to go this way, we fight it instead of just letting it go, letting it flow, and finding that there might have been a better way to do it. So I know that was a long tangent. I feel like I didn't do as good of describing it as like how I was feeling about it last night, because last night my guides were like, share this in your reading tomorrow. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do that. But it just felt like one of those nights where I didn't push the universe, and because of it, I managed my anxiety. I was okay with everything, and then we ended up having something better than what was planned. So yeah, when you connected to your guides in the midst of the chaos, what guidance did you receive? Yeah, so that was like when everyone was out chasing them, and I was on the baby monitor and just being like, how do I fix this? Oh, that was another thing, was like I didn't have my cell phone, so I couldn't call them. And so I stopped in the moment because I was like, this is happening for a reason. What was I going to say? And so that's when I notice things like that, that's when I'll immediately just like stop, and I kind of reach out to my guides mentally, and I'm like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And I think the guidance was just like, the dogs are going to come back. It's okay. You might as well just start setting up and preparing for the next adjustment of the night. And I just knew it was, we're not going to be able to be outside, so don't like try to wait around or force it, just be inside. And it was like, I knew that was possible because of all those people that didn't end up coming. We have kind of like a smaller living room, so we can't fit that many people. But it was just like a very like nonchalant guidance from my guides of like, everything's going to be okay, match my energy, and just move forward into preparing the living room and setting everything back up, so that when people do get back with the dog, you've got margaritas ready, you've got popcorn ready, and everyone's going to have a fun, festive environment, whereas I could have been an anxious, crazy mess, and I could have been mad at my dog or mad at the people that let my dog out. Speaking of, Ash, come here. He's like hanging out right here. But yeah, what's the quote? If you want the universe to laugh, tell it what you have planned. Exactly. That's exactly. And I felt like maybe some of you out there are supposed to hear that message. Normally, I shouldn't say normally. I've been really trying to work on like my anxiety in situations where things don't go as planned. So I'm pretty proud of myself last night. Hey, do you want to say hi to everybody and how you decided to run away last night and get almost to the highway, but then turn around? Yeah, it was scary, but I knew he was going to be okay. Alrighty, so that was kind of like one of the main messages that I was getting for like the theme of the night. I feel like I'm getting like 3 huge themes, so I might like jump around a little bit, but the next theme is like what I actually pulled with our cards for tonight. And I got the energy is gaining momentum, and I got coming apart, and I got encouragement, monk/nun. And so I felt like this, and you guys tell me too, I feel like this is like spiritual awakening kind of stuff. We're coming apart from our old self, like what's no longer working for us, what's no longer serving us, and we're coming into a new sense of purpose. It could just be like, when I think of spiritual awakenings, I really think of like such a huge energetic shift in your life that it's really almost like it's like a bookmark that you can look backwards on and be like, there was my life before that, and then there was my life after that. And there's not necessarily like like it might not have an instigative, like there might not be like one exact thing that happened that caused this. It could just be like a slow awareness that causes you to change. But I feel like I've just been getting this energy so much, even on like the pick a card readings that I watch and like I participate in. I just feel like recently everyone is going, the people that follow me, I should say, because that's who I read. I feel like a lot of us are just going through it. We're coming apart. We're really trying to set a new, what's the word I'm looking for? Standard of how we treat ourselves and like what we want from the universe. And it's like we're getting rid of people that no longer serve us. We're getting rid of just stuff that's like not for us, that's not good for us anymore. And so I think this is just confirmation the energy is gaining momentum, that we're getting moving with this. If you feel like you've been stuck with this energy and you're like, okay, I just want to move forward into this new step, this new place that I want to be in, I think this is confirmation that we're getting there. I can't remember, is it waxing moon? Waxing moon is pretty darn close to, I'm looking at my moon chart, trying to learn more about the moon cycles. It's either really close to a full moon or a new moon. I can't remember. I think it's a new moon. Or shit, I don't know. I'm learning. But regardless, the energy that I'm picking up is the same. Like it's almost there. We're almost at a point where we fully can be like, all right, we've left this world and fully put ourselves in this next world. And if this doesn't feel like you, that's okay. This might just be what's coming through strongly for a certain group of people that really needs to hear this. And I think right now we might just be feeling, and I feel like exactly what's coming through is something that I heard in Chloe Taylor's Pick a Card reading when I was watching it today. And it was that she talked about spiritual awakening sometimes being like one of the loneliest times because there's not a whole lot of people around you that, you know, might be going through the same thing. You're having to let go of people that just like don't match you. And so therefore you don't have people around you, and it feels very lonely. And so I think this is our guides giving us encouragement and being like, you're on the right track. This is going, you know, you're going to have the things that you're sad or you're feeling like is missing. But what you're doing is you're going into it with a new intention. You're going into it with new standards. So you're going to have this period in between where you're letting go of old, but also waiting for the new, so it can feel lonely. I find the universe has a strange humor. Yes. Story of my life. Laugh instead of cry. Certain relationships have been cut out of my life. Same here. And I've unfortunately am sort of in a slow realization that I'm letting go of certain people in my life that I was very close to. And it's been so hard and I've been fighting it, but I'm realizing slowly that it's for the best. And let's see. And so the monk and nun card was just how I sort of knew that this was about spiritual stuff, because this is about our devotion to spirit. And I'm hearing too that it's to our higher selves, and it's to the things that we want to manifest. You know, we're very clear to the universe. We've been clear. We're like, this is what I want next. And the universe has heard us and they're like, okay, cool. Then we need to get rid of this if this is what you want next. And we're in this spot of like, oh my gosh, we're like a little kid holding onto a blanket is what they're showing me. And the parents are like trying to take the blanket away and be like, no, you're too old for this now. And it's like, that's our energy. And we're like, oh, wait, okay. Let's see. And then the last card I pulled, Networker. And I pulled this in the reverse position. So I'm kind of being drawn to the shadow attributes. I'm hearing that if you are feeling like you're stuck in this and you want to push it forward more, it's about working on this side of yourself, working on the networker side of yourself. What is that? I love the colors of these cards. This is so purple. Okay, so the purple is all about intuition. It's about spiritualness, spiritual networking. It's about, okay, wow. It's like finding a community of like-minded people in the spiritual side of things. Why did my phone buzz? Because I feel like, you know, whether it's a job that you've been trying to get rid of or a person or just like people who don't serve you, I think the thing is like when you're around that job person, you know, maybe if it's even like education or like an experience that you've been having and you're like, this no longer serves me, it feels like that it's like a reflection. It's like a whatever it was reflected yourself back at you. I'm not describing myself well, but it's like I'm seeing this job and you're looking at this job, but it's like it's mirroring you and it's mirroring the stuff that you've the incorrect things. No, not incorrect. Sorry, this one's hard. It's like, give me an example. It's like, okay, it's like you have a group of people that you're like friends with and they're no longer serving you. And you're like, all right, I need to like leave this group of people behind. And it's looking at that group of friends and realizing that they reflected a certain part of you in this time. And because you're saying, I no longer want to be this person anymore, it's like they don't fit that. And so it's understanding that the people around you, the job that you're in can reflect what's inside of you that needs to go. So if you're still struggling to hold on to that job or that person, understand that it keeps you rooted in that energy because it's a reflection of your old energy. I think that's what I'm just trying to say. But I also feel like the networking with like actual people that are spiritual, that are on the same path as you. And my guides are telling me they're there. Like, you might not feel like they're there, but they're there. But yeah, that was like second message. Well, that was kind of second and third message sort of combined, I think. So I think we got a lot of just like big cleaning house energy going on for sure. Hey guys. I love your surprise pops up, Lauryn. Yeah. Well, and I will say, so August, I'm going to be doing 2 live readings a week. And one of those will always be Tuesday. The other one, I will try to let you guys know either in the community tab, like where I make my posts, or I will say it in the Tuesday night reading. So, yeah. I just joined. Definitely so many new beginnings, 555 energy. Yes. And I kind of feel like I myself have been going through a spiritual awakening as well. I feel like it sort of started like maybe a month ago, and I was getting 5s, like a lot. But I totally feel that energy of like being in the middle of it and feeling like so lonely. Like, how do you talk to people about this and like what you're going through? And you really do leave things behind, and it feels very lonely. And I'm kind of in this part of just like hoping and trusting the universe that they're going to help me find new people, a new tribe. And I think that's why the message of last night was coming through. It was like, I trusted the universe that, all right, this is not supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. So I'm just going to roll with the punches, go with the flow, find the signs as they come. And it ended up being an amazing night. So yeah, you have also shifted to the mother energy, and you will need to embrace flexibility and find humor in chaos. Good to see you here. Oh, that makes a lot of sense for me. Yes, I resonate. Leaving groups of people who reflected who I was before. I was seeing 333, 444, 555, and 1111. I was having that happen all day yesterday too. I was having 222, and I think I saw 333. And because of that, I was paying more attention to my guides throughout the day, because I was like, all right, they're trying to say something here. And I also saw 1111 at both times yesterday. And you know what was funny? It was somebody sent me a screenshot yesterday, and the time on their screenshot was 1111. And I was like, what? And it wasn't 1111 at that time. Look at this. And the rain's coming back. How funny. I'm so grateful for this group. I feel lonely also because I can't relate to the people I used to anymore. Oh, thank you so much for saying that, Erica, because like I almost didn't get on tonight because I'm also just like feeling that. I think I've finally come to terms with, unfortunately, having to leave behind a really good friend. And I've been struggling with it ever since like this last month. And it's kind of like what started my spiritual awakening, which is odd. I think it's sort of related, not completely, but as soon as we kind of like went through something, I was like, okay, we're going to take a break from each other for a bit. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I can breathe and I can see things from a new perspective. And then the more time that has gone on, I've been struggling with like, well, I could mend this, or I could move forward and ask more of the universe. And I've been getting all these signs and things that have been saying like, this is what you asked for. This is what you want. Like, and it just feels very liberating, but also sad. Like, it feels bittersweet. So I'm curious if any of you are going through that too, because I wanted to share that, but I was also like, I feel like that's too specific. I feel like that's more about me. I feel like, you know, people don't care, but sometimes I'm like, well, maybe, you know, it's coming through for a reason. Maybe other people are going through this as well. But yeah, so I'm very interested to see how our readings are going to be this evening. Hey, Sarah. This is your second time seeing synchronistic numbers on your page immediately upon arriving to your life. Isn't that funny, Sarah? I love when that happens. Maybe we are all the tribe we are looking for. I think so, silly rabbit. That's kind of been like what my guides have coming through and been saying is like, when you feel lonely, get on your lives. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. This is our tribe. Okay. Oh, that card came out. That's funny, and I was just about to say this. I was just about to say, it sucks because we're online and we're probably all scattered across the world, but I pulled the Spirit of Place card. No, I dropped it. And so to me, my guides are in my ear being like, but like, this is a place. It might be virtual and you might not be all in the same room, but it is a place and it is real and it is valid. So I'm glad that I decided to tell those stories because I'm glad it resonates with you guys. Anyway, all right, you guys, so let's jump into individual readings. I only have like about an hour tonight because my husband is going to go. My husband is he's a best man for a wedding. It's been so long since I've been to a wedding. So the wedding's not tonight, but he's going to meet all the other groomsmen so that they can like make plans and stuff. So I am going to be a babysitter for tonight, but I'm hoping I can go to this wedding because it's going to be in Norway. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so beautiful. It's not going to happen until like next year, but I really want to go. Alrighty. So in our readings, let's do, since no one's done a donation, I will jump into a free one. That's too easy. I am thinking of, okay. You got to be fast. I'm thinking of a zodiac sign. If you can think of the zodiac sign that I'm thinking of, there's only 12, then you get the reading. I saw something on Instagram yesterday that said, as you evolve, notice who says, I'm glad I get to know you, this version of, I'm glad I get to know this version of you too. I think sometimes we just outgrow people as we become new versions of us. Yes, absolutely. Pisces, Eureka, you got it. Eureka, let me know if you have a question. I'm a bias because I'm a Pisces sun. If you know that about me and I ask next time, like Pisces. But I'm realizing how much I'm such a Virgo sometimes. Anyway, but I love that, Cheyenne. And I think my struggle with friendships has always been like, well, I feel like I have to mend them. I feel like I have to try. I feel like I have to save them because then I'm showing the universe I'm not lazy, that I value my friendships. And I think it's turned into, well, you don't have to save every relationship. Like, they're not always equally as good back to you as you are them. I thought it was too easy to say Pisces. Yes, it was Pisces, and I have Eureka who guessed first. How to receive more psychic information from my guides more easily. All right, I'm going to pull my Moonology cards. Not everyone is meant to be in your life forever. Sometimes just for a moment. Absolutely. And I know that, and I feel like that's just been like my whole life. And it's just like, sometimes I think we get attached to the idea of, oh, we're supposed to have one best friend forever. But I think I'm coming around to the idea that that's not always the case. Like, it's okay. Especially because that person is not going to stay the same forever. Like, they're not going to be the same person that you found years and years ago. Okay. So Eureka, I feel really good about this. And I was going to say I felt good about it before coming in. Like, I felt like just knowing like the last reading that we had, you were like struggling with some of your like connecting to your guides like at work. And I pulled your hard work is paying off. And to me, I'm just getting like you're gonna feel more open and connected with them pretty soon. And they're literally saying like that's one of the things she can tell herself is like, I'm connected with my guides. I can hear my guides. I can see my guides. Sometimes the affirmation alone, when you expect something to happen, you're speaking it into existence. I also pulled the card, the answers you need are coming. And I kind of feel like this is twofold. I think this is confirmation that you're going to be able to connect with them soon again. Like maybe this brief stint that you've had where you just feel a little disconnected, it'll come to pass. But I also feel like it's going to come to pass when you kind of get the answers that you need to get with like whatever's going on in your life right now. You know, maybe that is like your work situation. But it's like, once you feel like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do with this thing that's going on in my life. It's almost like that might have been blocking you. And sometimes that happens. Your stresses in life can block your psychic ability because either you're so desperate to learn about the information, or you're just so in that energy because you are just thinking about it 24/7. It doesn't even like allow you time to connect to your intuition. There's a lot of things. Whenever something is really stressful, it can be a psychic block. And so that's why I was saying earlier, I don't know if I should get on my live because I don't want this, stress to block me from being able to read. But that's something I do want to talk about in future videos, is like how to really show up and do a reading when you need to. And being very on top of your psychic blocks and having exercises that you can do to get around them is very important for that. Let's see. Oh, and then the last thing, Yurka, was meditate and contemplate. And I'm hearing like it's that simple. It's that simple. Meditate and contemplate. I also am drawn to, well, this is funny because I said Pisces and this says new moon in Pisces. We might not be anywhere close to a new moon in Pisces, but maybe look into like Pisces things. I don't know. Or maybe embrace your inner Pisces, even if it's like not in your chart, is what I'm hearing. I'm trying to ask, like, what does this mean? They're like, whatever you think of like as a Pisces, like you, Yurka, put your mind in that like space of like, what does a Pisces do? And then maybe try to do that. Maybe it's like connecting to water or something. I feel like that's more specific to whatever you think of it. That makes sense. I'm always drawn to other duality signs. I'm a Libra, by the way. Nice. I've been getting all these messages that a Libra energy is going to come in. Libra energy. I don't know any Libras. Who is this person? Thank you, Yurika. I appreciate you being here. Oh, you're Pisces rising. Perfect. Pisces is dreaming, meditating, water element. Absolutely. There you go. Alrighty. Let's do another one. I am thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I am thinking of, then you get the reading. Purple, not purple. Everyone's guessing purple. Oh, Yurika is on point tonight. It was white. Yurika, why don't you pick somebody else to give the reading to? If this is like your first time here, if somebody guesses more than once, I usually have them pass it along to make it fair. I like also when psychic games. Yeah, I do. Whenever we don't have a donation, I do games to basically give away a free reading. Lauren, please pick. I can't pick. Well, here, why don't we just go off of like whoever said white next? Who said white next? Lucinda. How about Lucinda? Lucinda, let me know. I'm going to give it to you just because you guessed white next, and that's like an easy way of doing it. Lucinda, let me know if you have a question, and I can pull some cards. Yurika's like, this is too much responsibility. Lauren, I keep hearing for you to message me whenever you want. Oh, thank you, Mama Odie. I appreciate that. I think that's something, too, that I'm realizing is that I'm surprisingly making a lot of great connections with like a lot of you through all of my like social media channels. And some of you guys send me just the nicest messages, and I appreciate it so much. And I think I'm very like protective of my energy when it comes to online stuff, because I had a scare forever ago where this like guy found my address. He like found my personal home address and he sent me things in the mail. And so ever since I've been like, I have to be very safe on the internet, especially now that I have a son. So I try to make sure that no matter how you find me, you can't like find my house. You can't find like any of that information, like even like my personal email. Like I make everything separate. But because of that, I think I have this energy of like not letting people in, that I'm like, okay, I kind of need to let go of that. Not everyone is going to be that creepy dude that finds my address and comes knocking. You know what I mean? And again, that's why it's like I feel like my guides are like, it's okay to get online, like when you're feeling lonely. This group can be that. I just wish YouTube like had like a Zoom feature. It'd be nice to like see you guys other than like text. Like I feel like if I saw you guys in real life, I'd be like, who are you? Anyway, Lucinda, let me know if you have a question. Creepy stalker man, can't believe that happened. I know, and that's what is kind of scary about YouTube is like my father-in-law is a YouTuber as well. He does like travel videos, but he knows other travel YouTubers, and there was like one guy that he for whatever reason he had people that just like hated his channel. Not my father-in-law, like somebody else he knew. And this guy like somehow tracked him down, found out what hotel he was staying at, and was like threatening to like come after him and come get him, and like the security people had to remove him. And so like all these things are in the back of my mind, and I'm like, oh, I have to make sure I'm safe. Do you have another platform to send a review? I don't do Facebook. Oh, I know. And I know I'm hardly on Facebook besides my group. You could just send me a message, Jill, and then usually what I do is I put it on my website or I put it on Instagram if you don't mind like me sharing that. I should put something up on my website though, because I've had so many people be like, do you have something other than Facebook? Everyone hates Facebook, including me. Let's see, Lucinda, so you got the reading. I don't know if you caught that. Yurika technically got it, but since she already got the previous one, I'm going to give it to you since you guessed white next. So let me know if you have a question. If not, I'll move on if I don't hear from her. But yeah, Jill, I'm going to figure out a way to add reviews to my website because I agree on the whole Facebook thing. I'm going to make myself a note. Website reviews. Like now, this is like person number 5, so sign from the universe. I need to have something else. People are insane nowadays. Oh, hell no. It takes out a water gun. Maybe I'll hire you guys to be my bodyguards. I was watching the documentary on Paris Hilton, which I'm like usually not a Paris Hilton person at all, but the fact that she has like people in like every state, she has like a name for them that it's like we're like instant best friends and you come hang out with me if I'm in your state for like emotional support. And I find that very odd. Like it's not bad, but it's also not good. I feel like it's like she has no idea who these people are, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something there. Yes, I did have a past life did I have a past life as an aristocrat? Just wondering. Ooh. I feel like if you feel like you did, Lucinda, then absolutely. Because if you resonate with something like that, and immediately, Lucinda, I'm thinking of my pick a card reading that I did. It's the only one I have up so far. But I said that in my reading. So I'm curious if you've even watched that, because I feel like I totally tuned into that for a very specific like group of people. Why am I pulling these cards? I think you did though. And just to go further with it, I'm going to ask like why this past life is coming up now and like what message it has. Because usually when you remember something about a past life, it's because you need that information in your life now. I just pulled Virgin and Rescuer. Let me read these. I'd be curious. I might be getting the two mixed up, but it feels like this could be you now or this could be you then. But it feels like, okay, this is what it feels like. It's when you were in that lifetime, you were not self-reliant. You're not like self-sufficient. You needed other people to like take care of you. it's like the damsel in distress needing rescuing. And so if you were an aristocrat, that totally makes sense of like being in a very restrictive lifestyle and your life being determined by those around you. Virgin could be both literal or symbolic, and I'm sort of feeling like that lifetime you were, it's, you know, the description of how they call it virgin is maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. And so maybe you're just a very pure person, like you didn't, and it would make sense with this rescuer card of just like being very like naive or foolish about the world, and you just kind of let life happen to you and you just did everything by everyone else's terms. And so why this is important now, oh sorry guys, I forgot to turn off my alarm. Why this is important now is because I think you need some of this energy. You might be experiencing this right now again a little bit. Maybe you feel like you're waiting around on other people to kind of come in and like save you. You know, it could be with like money or relationships. It's kind of like that, relying on other people more than yourself. I feel like that's that. And I feel like maybe what's being called with the Virgin card now is finding that purity, because a lot of times we look at that purity as something bad and naive, and maybe that's what you did in this past life, but in this life you're trying to like fix that and be like, no, I can be pure but not naive. I can have a great heart and spirit, pure heart and spirit, but without being naive or being needing to be rescued. And so it feels like it's coming up again because maybe you didn't quite like finish that or like solve those lessons or do it in the best way that you thought you could. And so now it's like you're waking up and remembering, oh yeah, that's part of why I wanted to come into this life, is I wanted to give myself those same challenges and see if I could do it better this time. My great grandmother was an aristocrat. This is something I feel. Ooh, that's cool. I mean, if you feel it, I say absolutely. So just so you guys know, I have like 45 minutes left with y'all. Let's do another free reading, but make sure that if you guys absolutely want a reading that you get your donation in before I log off, because sometimes I can get backed up. Let's do another. I'm thinking of another color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And if you're just now joining us and you're new here, I sort of do these fun games when no one has donated to give out a free reading. And then otherwise, if there's a donation, I kind of bump those people up to the top. And if you want to know how to donate, you can send it through Super Chat, or you can send it. Bam! Love Heart, you were first. You got green right away. So Love Heart, let me know if you have a question in the comments. But yeah, you can also donate through Venmo. Are you guys watching anything good on TV right now? I know it's like super old, but I'm like finally just getting around to like watching The Handmaid's Tale, and I love it. I love it. Ooh, when do you see I'll meet the person I'll marry? Well, I will preface this with the future can change, and especially like timing. So I'll read it as I see it now, but just know that, you know, something can happen. You can make a decision tomorrow that changes my reading. That basically, instead of walking out your door to the left, you go to the right, and that could change the fact that you might meet this person or not. Like, that's a very like surface level example of like how the future can change. But when you see the person, I feel like it's going to be a couple years. Like, I feel like it could be 5 or 6 years. I feel like, I don't want to judge and say that you're really young, but it feels like you just have a lot of other experiences that are going to be first and foremost, that are going to take precedence. So I'm going to ask like what you can do, like what you can focus on to better manifest this relationship. interesting because normally I would pull this card in a very different way. So the Prince card, normally I would be like, oh, well, don't try to find your prince, your knight in shining armor. But because I pulled it upright, I'm feeling like it's okay to set your intention that you want to have a prince come in. And don't think of a prince like in a like save you, I'm weak, I need you kind of way that, we a lot of times interpret like a prince. I feel like this is just purely about intention. When you say to the universe, I want to manifest a relationship, okay, I get it. So they're telling me about like my husband, and this is kind of a cool story that my husband and I were talking about recently. My husband was 18 and I was 16 when we met. And my husband told me, well, I've always known that he set an intention. He did a candle spell. He's not like into witchcraft or like Wiccan stuff very much, but like he does like random spells here and there because he's like interested in it, and he just thinks it helps him set intentions better. But he literally set a candle spell to manifest a pretty and rich wife. Now, I'm not saying that about myself, but I did look a lot better back then in high school. And at the time, I did have a lot of money, a lot of wealth. I think I've been through this period of not exactly having as much in the later years, but I think I've always been destined for more of that in my life. And so he literally manifested me. He set the intention. And I only found this out like last week when we were talking about this, but I was like, how long after you did that did we meet? And he was like, oh, it was like 2 weeks. I was like, what? I was like, I need to get me one of those spells. But I think that's like the story that's kind of sort of coming through Love Heart is like, set your intention. Like, you might feel like it's far away, or that you might not, be old enough or mature enough is like what I'm hearing. But you can set your intention. You can wish on that prince. You can wish for those things, because what it is it's setting the intention. Obviously, we don't want to go down the route of, wanting it for the wrong reasons, or feeling like you will not be complete without this other person. Apparently you have a female guide. She's saying to check out the book. If you're resonating with it, Light is the New Black. Maybe that's something you might be interested in reading. But I think it's very much telling you, like, right now your intention is, I can't have that. I'm too young. I'm not mature enough. I haven't met very many people. That's the first place to start, is to manifest this person. Decide what you want. What does this relationship look like? And you can be young and not marry the person immediately. And that's exactly like what happened with my husband and I. We dated for 9 years before we even got married, because we met so young. But he manifested a wife. It might not have happened for a long time. And I think that story is important, because I think a lot of what's in your way is the self-limiting beliefs of like, oh, I can't have it. And I just pulled 2 other cards. You're very close to achieving your goal. And I know that's kind of contradicting what I'm saying, but I think it's like perspective. Like, right now you think it's not anywhere within the near future, but it can be. And then confidence is your key to success. I think self-confidence is probably another area that you can start on. Awesome. You're welcome, Lucinda. I think that's cool. Hey, Lauryn, I know you mentioned this before, but can I get your perspective on how much of life is predetermined and how much is... Ooh, Eureka. I don't think I can answer that question right now, because I feel like I'm currently trying to figure that out, Eureka. I'll let you know when I do figure it out. But even then, trust your own intuition on it, because I don't know. But yeah, I'm saying trust your own intuition on it, because I feel like with spiritual beliefs, I try to kind of stay out of those. I know they bleed into like what I talk about sometimes, but I really try to separate like psychic ability from personal beliefs. And I think everyone has different personal beliefs. But yeah, I don't know. I've been struggling with that, because I thought it was all free will. And then I have these moments within the last couple months where it's like, that was definitely like predetermined, fated. Not to a point where like there's no free will or lack of control. I think it's still like brought about by free will, but I don't know. I'm learning more about that, so I can't answer it. Sorry. I'm older, but maybe I have a younger energy. And it could just be, that's why I said I don't want to, what was I saying? Like, be biased and say you're younger. It just feels more like you're new to it and you have like a long way to go. You have other things that might be more important. Like that's kind of the more important part there. And it was maybe more maturity. Maybe you haven't had a whole lot of experience there. You're welcome. Thank you guys. Okay. Silly rabbit. I know, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I don't know. All right. Let's do another reading. All right. They want me to use these ones. They want me to use my unicorn deck. Okay. My unicorn deck is on my phone, but whoever's getting this next one apparently needs unicorns. All right. I am going to just keep doing colors tonight. I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm guessing, you get the reading. Thank you, Jill. Critical hit. Jill, let me know if you have a question. $5 is like my minimum, so if you have a question, I'm happy to answer it. I never know when people send me the stickers if they just want to send a sticker or if they want a reading. So let me know if not, but what was my color? Blue. Silly rabbit, you got it. Silly rabbit, let me know what question you have. I feel like for some of you guys that pop in here regularly, it just proves that if like you come often enough, you'll end up getting a reading. So both Jill and Silly Rabbit, let me know what question you had. I look at it like you have a roadmap going from point A to point Z, but you choose a route. I agree. I think so. That might be a fun one to do like a journey on and ask. No, you're good, Jill. 1 cent. I'll allow it. Jill, let me know. I'll still give you a reading. Let's think about this question. Yeah, Jill can go first. Whoever pops up first. I want to think about my question. I feel like that's like when there are people on like those reality show games where they're like they have to press a button really fast against somebody else and they press it but they have no idea what they were going to say. I feel like that's the energy sometimes when you guys guess and then you're like, oh, what do I want to know? I wish my chair weren't so noisy. Are you guys doing anything fun this weekend? I know it's Saturday night here for me. I know some of you guys are almost into the next day, but my fun night was last night. We watched Jurassic Park. I haven't watched that in a while. That show is so good. We decided to play a drinking game for whenever we saw a mullet. There was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of mullets in that movie. Jill says, I want to know about finances. Will I be able to make the money I hope to live the life I want? Jill, for some reason, I'm like feeling called to like refer you to Chloe Taylor's YouTube page. That's totally intuitive. So if you're interested, Chloe, Kloee Taylor. I'm a patron of her. I love her stuff so much. It's raining again. Okay. So definitely right now, Jill, you're just going through a little bit of a deep freeze. deep freeze, and then I also pulled peaks of joy. And so this is just kind of like, I'm interpreting this card as like, you have moments where things are good, you're really like connected with it, you're really feeling that abundance coming through, and then there's other times where it's just it doesn't come through. And I think right now you're in that deep freeze of like not feeling very much. I wonder if I should close my... I'm loving this rain though. It's been so hot here. And Jill, I think what it is, what's going to be the turn of like, if you're going to have this money, it's your commitment to your money mentality, your commitment to your belief that it will happen, and that having faith in these moments when you don't have money. Are you going to come in here, bud? He's like, it's raining on me. Hey, Ash. He's been so tired and exhausted from basically sprinting all across the street last night. He's been sleeping like all day. Anyway. But Jill, I'm also just going to recommend to you, this is like my personal recommendation, not intuitive. I have done a book review on it, but Get Rich Lucky Bitch is a great book. What are the other money mindset books that I absolutely love? There's also one called You Are Awesome at Making Money or something like that. I also really like the book. What was it called? Shoot. I can't remember. But I'm recommending those books because it feels like abundance mentality, and getting over your lack mentality is like where you should start. It's trusting the moments when you don't have enough, and the commitment card of the commitment of believing that it's destined for you. Start there. And honestly, if anyone else is resonating with it, you're allowed to go look up these books. Like, it's not just for Jill. But and again, like Chloe Taylor, I feel like she does all pick a card readings, but I feel like she actually talks very well about like money mentality, and maybe you would find insight in some of her readings about just like where you're at right now. Or picking which classes will teach you the lessons you need to learn. Old lady perspective. I forgot what we were talking about. My family and I are watching Ted Lasso and the Brokenwood Mysteries. Oh, I haven't seen either one of those. Sunday morning in Japan, teaching my uncle English this afternoon. Oh, fun. I feel like I've been getting so many signs lately. I wonder, does any of my family... Oh, this is your question. Okay. So Silly Rabbit got the free reading. Okay, so Silly Rabbit's question. I feel like I've been getting so many signs lately. I wonder, does any of my family members have any particular message for me in regards to any changes happening in my life right now? The signs that you're getting are definitely coming from like a female guide. She's kind of fun and playful, but she's like, hey, that's me. I just pulled the cards. Step out of your comfort zone. Nothing is yet set in stone. I feel like that reading that I was giving for the group, Silly Rabbit, I feel like you're in the thick of it. Unfortunately, like some of us might be going through our own, I don't even want to label it a spiritual awakening, because if that doesn't resonate with some people, I don't want people to feel like they're behind or not part of something or missing out on something. I think that's why you've been getting so many signs. There's something there with that. What are... The signs, it's almost like remembering to just stop in the moment and pay attention to them, because I feel like you just kind of let them pass. And I feel like I've seen this like a lot online of people being like, how do I know what this means? How do I know what that means? And sometimes all it is just stopping, in the moment and being like, why am I seeing this? And like, even just going with the first thing that comes to your mind, that's your intuition. You might not know which Claire you're receiving it with or what guide you're talking to, but sometimes you just know what it's about. For example, and I'll share this on my Instagram after I get off, but today I was cleaning up our mess after our movie night, and I saw a moth that was like in the middle of coming out of his cocoon. And I was just like, oh my gosh, could you get more perfect of a sign than this? And I have a video of it, and I'll share it with you guys because it's really pretty. But I knew in that moment, like the sign that was coming through was something about like transformation, like you're going through the spiritual growth, like you're going through the process. And that was what I got intuitively. It's just like I knew that it had to do with some of the stuff that I've personally been going through. But then I went and looked into my book that I have over here. That's the Animal Spirit Guide book. And I looked up moth, and none of it like made any sense. It resonated. And so I can see how most people, if they don't trust their intuition, they'll just go to the book and then they'll get the wrong answer. And so that's sort of like what I'm feeling like might be happening, Silly Rabbit, is like either you dismiss it and you don't even think about it, or you get a sign and maybe you just don't trust your own instincts. So try to like be very mindful of them. I think that's just coming through very strongly because your guides want to get you like moving and out of your comfort zone and into this kind of like next phase. They want to get you out of the storm. Because you're going through the change, you're trying to push through it, you're almost there, and they're giving you confirmation that you have the strength to do it. So I know that might not be exactly from your guide or your family members, but that was like what was coming through first. And I know now I'm just seeing your family members or pets that have passed on. But sometimes you just have to go with what you get first. Well, actually, yeah, that's what I was taught is like always, if there's a message that's more important than, you know, what your client has, you have to kind of honor that message first, because you have to tell their guides, your guides, that you respect them, that they understand that, you know, there might be something more important than, you know, oh, what is my boyfriend doing today kind of question. The map oracle card has been calling to me lately. That's a good question. So they don't look like this anymore. She prints them without these borders. So the new versions don't have these. And I like my version better. Maybe that's just because I've been using it more, but I think the border gives it like a unique look. So that's like aesthetically how I think they are. But energetically, I use these for like next steps. Like I've always liked this as the front is a compass. And if you guys ever are curious about my decks, I have them linked in the description down below. But it's about like a compass. Like I think of these as like intention cards. Like what are the intentions that you need to set to manifest what you want? And obviously different people will resonate with different decks, but I pull this one when I need steps of like, I need to manifest this. Give me clear like 1, 2, 3. Is there anything else? I feel like this deck also just covers everything. Like I know I could do a whole reading using this deck only and have everything I need in it. It's a very varied deck. Like some decks are just like hyper specific on certain things, like the Starseed deck. Like I feel like I can't use that on people who might not believe in that kind of stuff. But I would say the energy is very much like step by step based. That's me though, personally. Well, I start a new job soon. I'm hoping that it will be to start to wealth mentality and grow from there. Sarah K, the book Game of Life and How to Play It. Audio book form on YouTube. Oh, interesting. Is that like a money book, Sarah? All right. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. I know it's not exactly what you wanted, but it was just like, you're being very intuitive right now, and I just feel like if you just took like an extra minute, or not even a minute, 20 seconds to like stop, I feel like it's like a perfect moment for you to connect with your intuition more, your guides, and get these messages. Hi, Lost. Are those cards in your Amazon shop? Yes. So I have an Amazon storefront, and it's basically like where I can put everything that I love in like lists, which is kind of cool. And then you can like check out all of my lists of like my favorite tarot cards, my favorite books, my favorite this. And I started doing that instead of doing individual video reviews, because I think when I used to do the video reviews that were like a whole video on something, I just think people didn't enjoy those, which makes sense. I don't really enjoy watching those, but if you ever want to know what I recommend, I have an Amazon storefront, and it's always linked in the description of all my videos. I went back to listen. I'm getting an inheritance, and thought of my many times great grandmother, since she was an aristocrat and she was wealthy. So something said, ask Lauryn. So I did. Awesome. It's about manifesting. Oh, it's about manifesting. The author is Florence Scovel. Ooh, I'll have to listen to that. I'm going through so many books right now. Whenever I go through like a moment of like needing to go inwards and like figure out the next phase of my life, my book stack in my bedroom, I rent books from the library because otherwise I would spend a fortune on books. I'm reading like 4 books at once right now. I'm reading The Universe Has Your Back. I'm reading Light is the New Black. I'm reading Letters to a Starseed. I'm reading Daring to Lead, I think is the title. It's Brene Brown's vulnerability book, but I have so many books I'm in the middle of right now. I'm also reading Chillpreneur by Denise Duffield Thomas. You're awesome. Thank you, Lucinda. You're awesome too. All right, guys, I have about another 20 minutes before I've got to hop off and go let my husband do groomsmen related things. So get in donations now if you wanted to get a reading in. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing free readings otherwise. But let's do... I'm going to do another color. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. I read multiple books at once, too. I know. Cheyenne, I have like a pile of like my fun books, which like right now I'm reading Ozland, which I really wouldn't recommend. It's kind of meh. And then I have like my parenting shelf, and then I have my spiritual shelf. You're reading 3 books right now. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Yellow. That is so funny. Silly Rabbit, you got it. So Silly Rabbit, go ahead and pass that reading off to somebody else. You guys all keep like guessing. The last person who got the reading keeps guessing the next one. Your wish to go to Colorado is coming true. Really, Lucinda? Are you coming to Colorado? Woohoo, Aspen. Ooh, are you going to go to Aspen? And for those of you that are in Colorado, I'm trying to get in-person group classes figured out. It's kind of on my list. Give it to a first-timer. I don't know who's a first-timer. I would say I haven't seen Zhao. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Me either. Okay, Michelle says me. Michelle! Oh, we'll do that. Michelle, let me know what question you have. Sorry, you guys. See, that's why I want to put it on you, so then if people get mad, then it's your fault and not my fault. Just teasing. Okay, I'll still pick. Michelle, let me know if you have a question. Zhao, why not? I'll just do you also. I'll just kind of split the time for both of you, because I said Zhao, so I feel guilty now. What is coming towards me? Ooh, moon cards. Michelle, I'm feeling good stuff for you. Like, serious, like manifesting, like money. Oh, I see you just living such a luxurious lifestyle. Like, house you want, husband you want. You know, you might not be a husband, but like I'm seeing you like dressed and manicured. It's like you have the clothes that you want. You're getting your nails done. Your hair's great. Maybe you don't feel like you're at this point yet, but it's like that can be your reality. You can have that. You are good enough. And then what do you need to release, Michelle, to get there? I think your guides are trying to give you hope and trying to give you a vision of like what you can have. And right now, you don't even feel like that's like a possibility. And they really want you to get out of like the victim mentality of like why you can't have it. What you need to let go of. And that can be like inner thoughts that you tell yourself. Because that can be your life if you want it to. There was something else there. They're just saying like just start. The quote that's coming up, I love this quote and I've just been repeating it to myself. It was like, the best time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time to start is now. And I love that because I'm such a person who's like, oh, if I would have just started this when I got out of college, or if I would have just started this last year, I would be here. And the thing is we can get into that mentality, but just start now. Yes, the best time probably was 20 years ago, but now is the next best time. Yeah, Zhao, I was also going to let you do it too if you had a question, but that was for Michelle. I was feeling Zhao too. True. Claim it. That is, that was what I was going to say, Michelle, is start giving yourself the mantra, like, what if it's meant for me? What if it's fated for me? And start putting your energy into that, because I feel like you've been in such like survival mode, honestly, of like just trying to like just survive, honestly. I feel like I've been there too. I'm really looking forward to going back to work so I can afford a reading. There is a strange, undeniable connection between us, even though I've only seen you twice. I know, Sarah. Isn't that funny how that works out? I have so many people say that, but I know it's like not like personal. It's just that I think I connect to people's guides and give them the information that they need at a certain moment. And that's, I think that's every psychic. And I think everyone's drawn to different psychics for different reasons. So Jao, if you still wanted a reading, let me know. We've got like 15 more minutes with you guys. I'm loving this gloomy, you guys probably can't see it, probably looks really bright, but it's like gloomy, dark clouds, rain, which has been odd for July. Normally it's hot and dry here. Colorado is actually like desert territory. I'm going to ask, why are we getting gloomy weather this weekend? Ooh, we need to become poets and sit in the rain and write poems about the rain. Balance spirituality and practicality. It's that full moon in Pisces again. Why am I getting this weather? Ooh, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Maybe it's like cleansing energy with the Pisces water, cleansing energy coming through. Makes a lot of sense with like some of the stuff I'm going through of like literally like 20 minutes before I jumped on live. I was just like, I finally found the clarity of like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do with this person that I unfortunately have to like leave behind and move forward from. I feel like, and if anyone's resonating with this, I know the rain is in my area, but in some ways you guys are experiencing it through me. And I think if anyone's kind of feeling like this cleansing, kind of inward energy, like I feel like tonight we all just need to like cuddle up with a book, or like cuddle up with like a favorite movie and a blanket, just like turn the lights down and just kind of like get in touch with ourselves. And I feel like right now, I feel like this is almost like channeling. It's like you're going to get downloads from your guides and it's almost going to like come out. Like it's going to look like a lyric or like a, it might look like channeling or automatic writing, or you might just like come up with all these ideas. It could be ideas in relation to your life, but pay attention to that energy for tonight, because sometimes when you allow stuff to like cleanse you, what is he doing over there? Sometimes when you allow that cleansing energy to come through, it like cleans you out. It makes you a cleaner and clearer vessel for information to come through. So definitely pay attention to that. Also your dreams. I know I'm doing an impromptu group reading again, but yes, I would like to know what my guides want me to know. I'm Scorpio. Jao, let me know, how do you identify as like a Scorpio? Like when I say what's a Scorpio, like if you distill it down into like a few words or like a sentence, like what feels like a Scorpio to you? I'm curious because I'm a Scorpio moon and I'm trying to like learn about that a little bit, and I feel like that's the only sign I don't quite know as well. Anyway. I've never done anything like that before. All right. So Jao, I got Scorpio is someone determined. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I can see that about myself. I know it's more for me. Thank you. All right. Ooh, okay, Jao. This is like I pulled 3 cards and it just kind of turned into like past, present, future in a way. No, it's kind of present and future. So your conclusions are within reach. Like whatever it is that you've been trying to like figure out or manifest or just like try to get clarity on, it's going to come. It's going to come very soon. And this is what you need to work on to get there. Your dreams need a practical plan first. And so right now, I feel like what's going on is like whatever it is that you're trying to manifest or get clarity on, it's kind of just like up here, you feel like maybe you don't have control over manifesting it and you're just kind of like wishing and wishing like on a shooting star. But know that when you put in a little bit of effort to co-create with the universe, which I honestly is just like showing the universe you're serious by taking a step towards what you want. If you want to manifest a house, taking a step towards manifesting a house could just be driving around neighborhoods to try to figure out like where you might want to relocate to. So right now you've kind of put it all on the universe, or it's all kind of like a dream with no practical steps. So focus on practical steps. When we think A to Z, sometimes it can seem so far, but make little milestones in between to get there. And I think why you're having struggle with this is you just have a lot of fears there, a lot of things that you're telling yourself of like why it's not going to work, or maybe you're afraid of it going well, or maybe you're afraid of it going bad. And this says new moon in Scorpio, so I feel like this is kind of like rooted in your Scorpio-ness, and I think that's why I was drawn to like ask you about it. I was asking for myself, but I think my guides might have pushed me to ask that. And I feel like these are kind of like, because I'm pulling up that card, Jao, I feel like it's I feel like this is like something that you go through often. Like this isn't the first time that you've had this hiccup. This is something that is kind of a part of you that you need to like work through, I should say, because it comes up often. I hope that makes sense. But it's all going to end in something good. It's just kind of like focusing on that shadow self, focusing on the parts of you that fall into that fear or that negative thinking, or I just feel like you go there too much, and that's kind of what's in your way right now. Scorpios are my favorite sign. My brother's a Scorpio. I feel like they have an incredible amount of depth if they can learn to fully embrace their emotions. We have somebody who's gonna attack us with demons of Yahawashi. Somebody left a comment today. Oh, did I put them in timeout or did I remove them? Okay, got it. Somebody left a comment today on my Ouija board video, which I knew when I put up that Ouija board video, and as long as it goes on, that one's going to get a lot of negativity. But somebody was like, this is a warning. You're all going to hell. And something about you're going to bring in demons into your life. And I kind of wanted to comment and I'd be like, okay, I'll see you there. But then I was like, no, I can't do that. Can't engage. You got to delete it. I come up with comebacks in my head, but then I just delete it. And then I was also like, I also wanted to be like, well, but if you believe in demons or the devil, does it still apply? But that's helpful, Cheyenne. And I'm trying to remember, because moon is about like feelings and inner self. I guess I'm a pretty deep person, existential person, I would like to say. And I always was like, well, that's like my Pisces, but maybe it's hurt my Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio, Venus rising, and Mexican, and a witch. Fortunately, I am Libra sun and Aries moon. See, Libra is the one I don't know much about. And that's what I keep getting coming through is like, you're going to get a Libra soon. There's a Libra energy coming in. Maybe it's all of you guys. Mama Odie, question for you. I'm like sort of interested in like witchy stuff. I've just been like watching other people's YouTube channels. I guess I don't really have a question, but I'm just curious how I've been thinking about just like practicing some of the things, because a lot of the things on my channel, you guys, are inspired by rituals that come from Wiccan stuff. Like, you know, the water ritual that I did, that can be definitely like witchy. Anything with candles also can be. It kind of all gets mixed up, but I'm being called to like explore that a little bit more. Not necessarily in a spiritual sense, more just like a practice sense, and just like adding more tools to my toolbox. But if anyone has good recommendations of like channels or books, I'm all ears. Yahawashi, I'm sending you love and light. Good job, Sarah. Bam, hit him with that light. You're welcome, Joe. I think I'm a double Scorpio or whatever it's called. Yeah, like you have two, like one of your three is like two of those. Ouija boards, have planchettes tattooed on my hands. Nice, Mama Odie. I wear my Ouija board necklace around sometimes because I like to make people uncomfortable. Probably shouldn't do that. You should look at what house your moon is in. Yeah, my moon is in Scorpio. So I process my emotions like a Scorpio. So with a lot of depth, I guess. Yes, the house is important. Oh, what house your moon is in? Sorry. Okay. I'll have to look that up. Again, I'm learning astrology. You'd think that everyone always like is like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know what that is. Or I went to in-person reading once it was like an event. And someone was like touting me as like, oh, she reads palms. And I was like, oh, actually, no, I don't. I didn't learn how to do that. And they were so confused. They're like, but you're a psychic. And I was like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I know how to do it. Like, it's a different training. You have to learn how to do all these separate things. And astrology is just one I never got into. But I did a lot of other classes. Reiki, shamanic work, animal communication, mediumship, basic psychic like studies, medical intuition. I feel like that's like my wheelhouse, and I'm trying to like branch out and learn more stuff. Is it raining for you yet? It's like off and on, Lori. It got like super bad last night. I was telling everyone at the beginning, we had friends over for an outdoor movie, and that got shut down like that last night. I'll have to look at the house. Maybe I'll have you guys teach me. Yeah, Mama Odie, if you have any like suggestions of like people, that's the thing, is there's so many books, so many channels, so many people. And I found one girl and I started to watch her, and then I realized I don't think she quite knows what she's talking about. Anyway, so you guys, I think I've got like 3 more minutes. Shit, how did I let that go so quickly? I'm sorry. You used to teach Wicca 101? See, there was a reason I kept hearing for you to message me. Heck yes. Are you, maybe, I will definitely do that. I don't know if I don't know how to get in contact with you, but feel free to like shoot me an email through my website, and maybe I'll check out whatever you send. I'm like interested, and it's like one of those things that's like coming through as a sign from my guides. It's like, oh, witchcraft this, oh, witch that. And it's like, I accidentally click on a video and it's like how to make a book of spells. And I'm like, what is this? I've never heard of this. And then I bump into somebody that's like, oh yeah, I do this stuff. And then my husband tells me the story that he said a spell to manifest me, and I'm just like, what? And it just keeps coming through in all sorts of signs, and those are the moments where I stop and I say, okay, this is happening a lot. Why is this happening? I ask my guides, and they're like, just look into it. You don't have to like be serious about it. Just look into it. I'm like, okay. That's true, Yurka. Yasmin Boland has a lot of information about astrology. Interesting. I'll write her down too. Thank you, guys. Yasmin Boland. You're welcome, Yurka. I'm glad I jumped on today. Have a great time babysitting. Yes, 40 years, Mama Odie. Maybe that is why we were supposed to connect. Yeah, guys, so I will be on next Tuesday again, our normal time. And then I'll let you guys know too, like when my second night will be next week. So yeah, all of August will be double readings. We're going to do 2 live nights a week. September, we're going to go back to normal 1 a week. Obviously, though, if you're a member only, you get that added member only live that comes at the end of the month. And then October, I'm trying to come up with all sorts of fun. I want every video that's coming out in October to be Halloween themed, spirit themed. So I need to sit down and figure out like what I'm going to do. But yeah, guys, I think that's all my announcements. So I will catch you guys next Tuesday. If I could remember what video is coming up next, I would tell you, but I can't. I can't even remember. Curious what you guys thought of my most recent video. I can only really see the numbers behind things and how well a video performs, but that doesn't always like reflect how people feel about it, so I never know. But she created your Moonology card. Oh, really? I should know that. Honestly, I got these on ALI Express, and I wish I didn't. They are so crappy. And I thought when I was getting them on ALI Express, like I was cutting out the middleman and I was getting them like directly from the warehouse. But basically what it is they literally just like photocopied these and then printed them a little bit smaller. And it's basically like a I don't want to say like black market, but it's almost like the equivalent. And then I felt so shitty energetically because I was like, oh, I'm not supporting the artist. And so my goal is to replace all of these cards with the actual real ones because they didn't even come with booklets. Like I had no idea. I thought ALI Express, I was like, oh, I'm just getting a really good deal. I was stupid. Don't get tarot cards off ALI Express. But so yeah, I don't even know who makes these because it didn't come with like a booklet. Anyway, I need to replace them all. So I need to replace this one, my Starseed deck, and then I got my Talking to Heaven deck all on ALI Express, and it was a huge mistake, but I told the universe, don't smite me, I'll buy the real versions and give the authors them. Thank you, Mama Odie. I appreciate that. I'm so glad I jumped on. 444. I just watched it earlier. I enjoyed it. Oh, what was I talking about? Oh, the recent video. Yes. I really wanted to add B-roll to it, but I ran out of time. I wish I could have, but I never knew clouds could be used for psychic messages. Oh, yeah. I love it. You have to have clouds in the first place, but I will get from ALI or wish to try out a deck. Oh, that's a good idea, Mama Odie. Or a second copy for travel because they're typically small. That's actually a good idea, Mama Odie. Yeah. Also, like if you have a metaphysical store near you, sometimes they'll have sample decks out so you can like flip through their booklets and look at them. Obviously, you can't like play with them, but that's another way to do it. Awesome, you guys. Well, I should jump off. I really want to stay longer, but I gotta let my husband go. I gotta let him go. I'm not keeping him trapped, I swear. He's gotta go do groomsmen things for a wedding that he's gonna be in next July. I'm excited about it. You started Karen's workbook? Yay! Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for supporting her. And I think it is a great investment. I've got mine like back here right behind me. I'm so glad you popped in and let me know. All right, guys, I'm jumping off. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.